I'm Michaela Myers.
And I'm Sierra Mullen.
And welcome to The Cutting Edge.
We went to Sitka High yesterday and soaked up some knowledge at the college fair.
We have about 50 colleges and universities and training programs who will be here in Sitka to speak. So the biggest message is be brave, have your questions ready, and just go up and talk to them because of that.
We spoke to students to see why they thought the college fair was important.
I think the college fair is important because they're all presented in one spot, so here us as seniors and just the whole entire school, we get the opportunity to view what they have to offer, and it's just really nice to get to know everything that we should know.
College fair is important because it gives you an idea if you want to do something else. You have the option to check out another school or explore other schools without making any commitments.
I think it's important because you get to experience the options to go to school out of state.
I think that our future depends on college.
MEHS field research class
is working with the scientists of the Sitka Tribe of Alaska
to establish our own harmful algal bloom sampling site
right here at Mount Edgecombe High School.
Esther Kennedy from STA tells us about their work.
And we in the field research class
are going to tell you what we have been up to.
How long have you been monitoring crabs in Sitka?
I've been monitoring for just under 2 years.
In addition to the plankton sampling, what else do you test?
We test the plankton, we test the water itself, and we also test all manner of shellfish for toxins.
What kind of outreach do you do outside of Sitka?
We have 14 other tribal governments that we're partnered with, and so sometimes I'll help train the new staff at those locations. We make quite a few outreach materials, so brochures and info sheets, and we'll distribute those to all of our tribal partners. But really what I mostly try to do is do what I can to support those tribal governments behind the scenes and sort of give them materials that they can distribute to their own communities, because they're the ones who are working with their local people.
The field research class has its very own monitoring center right here on our MEHS ramp. We sample once a week, which takes about 3 minutes, and it takes one whole class period to process the sample.
So first we use this net to collect our plankton sample, and the plankton goes into this bottle, and then we run that through the water for 3 minutes using a stopwatch. We use the squeezy bottle to get the plankton off the side of the net and concentrate it into the bottle. While we're at our sampling site, we also use the salinity and temperature probe to get the amount of salt in the water and the temperature. Then we take 125 milliliters of our plankton sample and 2.5 milliliters of the Lugol solution with the pipette, and we put those together into a sample bottle, and this preserves it. And then we take a drop of that with a smaller pipette and put it on a gridded slide and use some sort of identification guide and the microscope to look at the plankton, and then we write down on the data sheet how many of each type we count.
Harmful algal blooms affect the ecosystem by sea life who consume phytoplankton, which can potentially be poisonous. This can make fish, shellfish, and mammals gravely ill, and this is lethal. Eating these creatures can pass on toxins and cause an increase in death rates. For example, a mass amount of fish die during these blooms because of the lack of oxygen. The ecosystem is affected by algal blooms due to the significant impacts they have on the surrounding sea life.
Algal blooms occur at the correct water temperature, amount of light, and the amount of nutrients. These phytoplankton reproduce quickly. 1 becomes 2, 2 becomes 4, 4 becomes 8, and so on, until all available resources are exhausted and the bloom is halted.
For this project, we are conducting cell counts for our weekly samples. We are looking at the diversity and abundancy. We are looking for any species that causes human sickness, such as paralytic cellfish poisoning and amnesic cellfish poisoning.
An algal bloom is a rapid algae growth in a specific area. These can affect critters in different ways, such as changing color and visibility of the water. Harmful algal blooms can decrease oxygen levels in a specific area. This can cause fish kills. They also create a variety of toxins depending on species that can make people sick and or die.
Some of the symptoms from exposure to harmful algal blooms are diarrhea, short-term memory loss, and loss of motor control.
The data we collect is relevant to our everyday life in that one of the subsistence foods we eat are shellfish. Toxins from harmful algal blooms can bioaccumulate in shellfish, making them poisonous. In addition, many harmful algal blooms can affect commercial fisheries, which has a broader economic implication.
Go Field Research! Whoop, whoop, yeah!
Your Mount Edgecombe Lady Braves represented MEHS this past weekend at the Juneau Drive Volleyball Tournament. Out of all 11 teams, they placed third, only losing to Juneau Douglas, who placed second, and defeating the first place team, Thunder Mountain. In all, it was a fun and memorable weekend for the team. Come out and support the Lady Braves this Thursday and Friday at 7:30 and 2:30 on Saturday against Monroe Catholic High School.
The Young Performers Theater is putting on another show. The Trials of Robin Hood will be opening on Friday, October 21st at 7 p.m., showing on Saturday at 2 p.m. and 7 p.m., and closing at the show on Sunday with a 2 o'clock matinee show.
And sometimes people are not easy.
I'm sure I know all that.
People are not easy.
Performing in the production are Mount Edgecombe freshman Jesse Hansen, sophomore Muriel Reed, and junior Aria Phillips. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned to The Cutting Edge.